Hi there guys, in today's video I'm going to take you through a few tips for what to look out for when deciding if a Pokemon card is fake or not, so let's get straight into it. So here we have a 20 pack of fake Pokemon cards that I picked up on eBay, and right next to it is a genuine real Pokemon card that we can use as a comparison. So I'm just going to open up this pack and see what fake EX cards we have. I have already looked through it. The reason I bought this pack was because it was supposed to have a fake version of this card in it, so I bought it specifically for that reason. But I had a quick look through and it's not even in there, so what can you do? Anyway, now I'm going to give you some examples using these cards to demonstrate, but rest assured these tips apply to all Pokemon cards including base set, not just EX. So the number one thing is going to be the look of the cards. First of all, Pokemon cards are 6 by 3 centimeters by 8 by 8 centimeters. So I mean, if you felt that way inclined, you could pull out a ruler and take some precise measurements, and if it's off, which a lot of fakes tend to be, but a lot of them can be spot on. You know, faking cards gets more sophisticated all the time, so you need to be careful. But those are the dimensions that you should be looking for anyway. I have had a look. These are actually cut to the correct size. They match up quite nicely. So this card is actually all good in terms of size. But another thing you notice would be the colors on the card themselves. I'm going to take this one out of the sleeve just to make it a fair comparison. So you can see with the colors, like, you see that reflection? It's just like you can see the difference, the sort of dark, dull colors on this one, whereas the one on the left is much more vibrant and just sort of blends, the colors sort of blend together well, like they complement the picture, whereas this, it kind of just goes across the whole card, like it's just glazed all the way over. And all these cards are actually bent, which doesn't help, but even still, you can still see the dullness on that card. Another thing that you can look out for is borders. They tend to be very thick on fake cards. Well, not tend to be, but they can be. These ones, I've had a look again. Actually, the borders are pretty much in line with what you would expect from a real card. So they have at least done that bit right. But the main thing with this is just how dull this card is. So I've chosen 2 water types to kind of give it the fairest comparison, and I'll just try and give you a nice close look. This one is just, it just pops so much more, you can just see it. And of course, as I've already sort of shown you, the blue, this being the fake card, is off. It's just, let me put that down. Yeah. So yeah, you can just see how light this is compared to this. So it's very easy when you have a genuine example that you know for sure is real right next to it, you can blatantly see the differences. So number 2 would be the actual feel of the card itself. It's just a bit cheap, you can just tell straight away. It's a bit rubbery, a bit sticky. With the other cards, it doesn't slide, like you can just hear them together rubbing against each other, and you just don't get that with Pokemon cards. The Pokemon cards are a lot more fluid. These are a bit sticky, and you can just tell when you're touching it. I'm not going to do that with this card, but yeah, when you have 2 side by side, it's very easy to tell the quality just isn't there on these stickers that they have on the top of these cards here. So tip number 3, I actually picked up from a guy called Roy Rafty. He works in a store called Sneak Attack in London, and he did a video with Tech Insider about the same subject and actually learnt a very useful tip that you can use without having a real example next to you, and it's fairly accurate for deciding if a card is real or not. So I'm just going to take you through that. So these cards are actually printed across 3 layers. You have the top layer, the rear layer, and one in the middle, which is black or blue. And so you have the artwork for the front printed on one, the artwork for the back printed on another, and then they're both printed onto a middle card that holds it all together. And it gives this card a really sort of thick, you know, sturdy feel to it, you know, like a very professional card. Something that these fake cards just don't have. They're very flimsy, and you can just tell it's not as sturdy and that's because of the 3 layers that go into making up this, crushed together, make it very strong, and this just doesn't have that kind of money invested into it, so they just have the single layer with a sticker just plastered straight on top. And another way that you can have a look for this is by actually getting a light, which I'll show you now, and pop it behind. I'll give you a close-up. Pop it behind the card, and can you see those, the lights moving around behind Blastoise there? You can see the light moving up and down, side to side. Well, if we go ahead and take out our genuine card, take it easy, and pop the light behind there, move it around, yeah, you can see that the light is not going through at all, really. You can do this with the torch on your phone as well. It actually works a little bit better. With the torch on the phone, if you have it right up against a real card, you should see just a small circle of light, just the size of the flash itself, able to pass through, because the torch on your phone is a little bit stronger than what I was just using. But on these cards you'll see a lot of light passing through, so it is a very good test, and you don't need a real card next to you to be able to work out if a card is real or not. If you can't tell already from the looks and the feel if it's one that's been made really well, in terms of the look and the feel, then you know, shining a light through will tell you if it has those magic 3 layers that Pokemon cards have. Even with a non-holo, non-EX card that I have here, a recent pull of mine, Caterpie from Rebel Clash, I'll pop the light behind there, I'll give you a close-up again, and you can just about make out the light there, but even that was nowhere near as much as was on the fake EX. And with the EX cards, the holo cards, you expect a little bit extra resistance from the light anyway. So if I did have a fake Caterpie here to show you, you'd be able to see that light, no problem. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that the same thing does work with cards that aren't all holo. So you can use it on holos, non-holos, whatever you fancy. Number 4 is the rip test. It's basically a pointless test, because once you've completed the test, the card is destroyed, and you know, you've kind of found out the answer at the expense of the card. Nobody really wins with that. However, it is an effective test because it does give you a direct insight into the card, what it's made of, and if it has that black-blue layer underneath, that proves that it's genuine. Or another thing could even be that you already think a card is fake and you just want to confirm your suspicions. So I'm going to do it here on this channel, and we're going to sacrifice Caterpie just so I can show you exactly how it looks when you rip a real card in half. There you go. So I'll use this so you can see it a bit more clearly here. As you can see, the black layer in the middle, you got the back layer, the black layer, and the front layer. So 3 layers go into making up this Caterpie. I'm sorry you had to die, Caterpie. And show you how it goes with a fake one. As you can see, we have 1 layer and 1 sticker plastered on top, and that's just really easy to rip. And actually, that's the other thing. Caterpie put up a little bit of resistance. You can feel it when you tear it. It's got a bit of oomph on it. You know, it's putting up a fight. That just split straight apart. The only thing that puts up the fight is the plastic sticker there, but even that's no match. So pretty much those are the things that I'm looking at and looking for when deciding if a Pokemon card is fake or not. Hopefully one or some of these tips can go some way to helping you in the future. If that is the case, please leave a like, leave a comment, I'll get back to you. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing, and I'll just leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Yeah, they can't hold us back, we on another level. Yeah, it's that new age, ain't it something special? Yeah, we gon' change the